people don't realize their comfort in negativity. I think a lot of people have to audit their circle. If your mom is deeply negative, this is your mother. If your dad is it's your dad, your older sibling. If they're deeply negative and you're talking to them 3 times a day, maybe you should talk to them twice a week. You must manage your negativity load. Of course people are unhappy if they watch the news. Everything's like, we'll be right back with the kid that drowned at the age of 4.
These folks got their hit his shit, no cap.
Hey guys, welcome to the Rubasha Family podcast. We are heading to Gary V event, Mindset Matters, and we want to take you guys along the day with a quick vlog. We're going to be meeting Auntie Esther, who is also on the podcast. You know, we want to show you guys a little event, some good times. So heading with Dad. Dad, how you feeling?
Yeah, good. Very good. Beautiful morning there. And always we wake up with positive mind. Make our day much easier. To have positive mind every day.
Positive mind every day.
Plan your day. Think your day the way you want it. The way you think you want to have it, yeah, think it that way. Don't think anything else. Think your day on your way you want to have.
Start it from the inside out,
Yes.
not the outside in.
Yes.
You know, so when you start to think for your day and have that plan and that visualization
Yes.
and that feeling, when someone maybe cuts you off in traffic or there's a long line, that doesn't affect it.
It doesn't affect you. You start positive way, think you're going to have a good day, and that's how you would wish if you go to meet somebody you know is going to be successful on your way. Everything had to come within you.
Exactly. We just dropped another episode last night, guys. One dropping today where Dad talks about miracles and how we always expect miracles to happen again outside of us, but you can create your own miracles. You know, the fact that you woke up today and you're here watching this video is a miracle. So look for all the miracles that are around, because there's miracles every single minute of every day that you're here. So look at that, and they're always from within. So anyway, we're gonna take you guys to the event.
Out in Mexico, we just go me, Papito, shorty don't speak English. She about that, Pepe, so I don't care, I'ma spend that dough. I know how to make some more, I know how to cut and stretch, I know how to break and flip. Never sober, jet ski, water, with you, daughter, in the order. I'm the nigga, no time, hater, fuck you, pay me, how I feel lately. Put that money in my pocket, spend that shit on my jacket, put that tax in my bracket, all my niggas.
See fallout from jobs all over Australia.
Ever had an a limiting belief about themselves ever in life. I'm saying creators. That's what they have as well. You got to handle it. Oh, I'm just starting out. I'm just a beginner. I don't know if I can do this like you. Handle the internal false beliefs.
But now the problem is
For the serendipity and circumstances that created my life. Being a businessman and an entrepreneur is money's tied so closely to that. And I think people get confused about what one is chasing. I'm chasing to not have anxiety in the morning. I'm chasing to be pumped what I'm gonna do for the 15 hours or 18 hours that I'm awake. I want people to be happier because it feels nice.
So with the confidence and self-esteem for you, did that come naturally from the parenting you received, or did you kind of build that over time? When did you kind of realize that?
I think it was, like, this is why it's so fun for me to, like, talk about the all up in their fucking kids' shit when I be the same person. Because the other thing that made me was not tomorrow. It was the streets of Edison, New Jersey. Like, I think that who I am today would be different if I didn't get into fights in middle school, right? I think one of the biggest problems in the world is I think kids should be fighting each other more. I'm not joking. I think we're over-coddling our children. Let me paint you a scenario. You wake up and you grab your phone and you start consuming content and you see something and you decide to make somebody feel bad because you leave a shitty comment on their content. Could you imagine a worse existence? It's simple. Like, if somebody's shitting on you in the comments and says you're stupid or you're ugly or you're this and you're that, don't feel bad for you, feel bad for them. I don't know, I deal with it very easily. But you also have to be careful. The biggest reason people struggle with negative comments is because they believe the positive comments. Yeah. Which means when people say you're shit, you're like, yeah. And for me, I just don't believe it at all in either direction. I'm not here for the validation or the teardown. I'm here for the process. I love the game of business. I love sports. Sports is the best because there's a score and somebody won. You know? Like, I love that shit. It's why I hate 8th place trophies of all time. It's the algorithm's fault, it's your parents' fault, it's the government's fault. When the fuck is it your fault? The single reason I'm happy every day is I think everything's my fault. I'm being dead serious. If I'm unhappy, I can do something about it. You're mad at the government? Move. No, really. Obviously, if you live in North Korea, you can't do that shit. But we're in fucking Australia. So if you really hate what the fuck is going on, leave. Look, some people struggle with the camera, that's okay. Like, maybe you can write, or maybe you can audio. But if you're gonna go in front of the camera, talk about what you know. But you don't need to be an expert. You're the expert of your life experiences. You can talk about anything. I'd highly recommend talking about stuff that you're interested in, because it becomes sustainable. A lot of people fail because they talk about shit they think money will be in.
On this path of life that I'm on right now, I'm always thinking about the future. I'm always thinking about my financial future. How can I make important moves now that are going to impact me when I'm older? This video is sponsored by Raiz. Every time you get an income, you can set weekly, monthly, daily investment goals. You can put aside money while you're growing and seeking the best future for yourself. For me, what I do is every week I have an amount and it puts the money into the stock market. It's all about compounded interest. The actions and the things that you do today are impacting your future. So for me to continually having that compounding interest of money being put away into the stock market, by the time I'm 30, 40, 50 years old, that amount is generational wealth. That is the power of compounded interest. It's always important to think about your future, always important to think about tomorrow and 20 to 30, 40 years from now. What Raiz has done with the Rubasha Family podcast, they're going to give you $5 once you sign up with the Raiz app and you're approved. You can start your financial journey today. None of this is financial advice. Hit the link in the description, get $5 into your account once you're approved, and get started on your investment journey today.
You know, the amount of people that I've physically watched in the last 4 years go from cannabis experts to NFT experts to real estate experts. I mean, now they're fucking AI experts. I mean, like, fucking assholes. The only thing they're experts at is sucking. And because it's selfish. When you put expert in your name, it's almost immediately an indicator that you want other people's money.
A few people mentioned burnout. Does that also relate to kind of why people sometimes get into a burnout state, or where do you think that comes from?
Burnout's complicated. Look, the theme of this talk so far, before we go to Q&A,
have some perspective on what it is that you're doing. How do you approach patients?
Yeah, I think even the way you're asking the question, you can tell like I'm hot on this one, which is people hear from me patience, and I say the word patience, and their brain says complacency. Like I even see other content creators trying to shit at me, like, don't listen to Gary Vee about patience. Because they hear complacency. They're like, you gotta go get it. I'm like, I'm fucking getting it all day. I'm not saying fucking lay on your couch and fucking do nothing. I'm saying give yourself room to breathe, to like accomplish the thing. The reason people struggle with patience is because they're so quick to want to show people they made it. The bottom line is that everyone basically stays in high school their whole lives, wake up with their mother. And let me go to the non-joke version of what I'm saying. You really shouldn't cold turkey break up with your mom or your spouse or your dad, but I do think everyone here should reflect on who they spend time with and what they consume. In life, you find what you're looking for. People like, Gary, the algorithms are all fucked up, social media is fucking you up. And with some of my friends, I take out their phone, I take out my phone, and I go through our algorithms. My shit is like Jets highlights, you know, people saving puppies off a fucking tree, like fucking sunshine and optimism. Like, the algorithm is not like some weird Wizard of Oz in the back room. The algorithm looks at what you're doing and shows you more of what you're doing. Right? And so I think people don't realize their comfort in negativity. I think people are complacent and are not fighting for their happiness. And so I think a lot of people have to audit their circle. If your mom is deeply negative, this is your mother. If your dad is it's your dad, your older sibling. If they're deeply negative and you're talking to them 3 times a day, maybe you should talk to them twice a week. Like, you must manage your negativity load. Of course people are unhappy if they watch the news. Everything's like, we'll be right back with the kid that drowned at the age of 4. The fuck? Right? It sucks. And so, like, you're in control. It's time to be accountable. Stop listening to negative shit. There's a lot of beautiful things going on in the world. There's always been war. There's always been suppression. Like, oh, by the way, on the record, for every metric that matters, health, suppression, like every metric that matters, today is the greatest day on earth, and you're living in it. And yet, everyone's walking around like it's the worst. People sitting here beat themselves up and don't love themselves. But you need to realize it's actually, let's have a real moment. No bullshit, I know this is hard, but do this for me because I'm feeling something. On some real shit, how many people feel in this room, by a show of hands, that they beat themselves up and they're their toughest critic and they shit on themselves? Raise your hand. Now, this is very important. You have to hear this. It's not you. You don't shit on yourself. Someone put that in you. You have to understand this. You don't hate yourself. You don't think you suck. You're not the imposter. You're not insecure. Somebody taught you that. The second you understand that truth, you can understand that you do love yourself. You start to unwind it. And this is very important. And you have to fucking understand this. You do not hate yourself. You do not think you suck. You just got unfortunate that somebody in your life created that framework. But before you're pissed at your mom, your dad, this is very important. This is why my favorite quote from Beacon this year, which was "fuck your grandparents," is very important. As I'm watching people get emotional in the crowd, don't get mad at your parents because somebody did that to them too. You understand? That always pisses me off, Ethan. People are like, I fucking hate my mom, but I love my grandma. And then I can meet them like, motherfucker, your grandma made your mother.
So over the
Reels. You know, if you're not posting on Facebook Reels and you're only posting on Instagram and or TikTok, you're making a huge mistake. There's a wide open space of attention on Facebook Reels. LinkedIn. Most people are not posting on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is acting like Facebook did 10 years ago. The third one is the concept of creating frameworks so you can get content, meaning doing a podcast, not so the podcast gets to be super successful, but because you're doing a podcast, you're able to get 3 or 4 pieces of content for your social, right? As a lot of you know that follow me, I tea with Gary Vee, which I'm thinking about bringing back for the content.
Let's hear the audience Q&A.
Yeah, you guys ready? Way at 4 and 5 in the morning. And there's just something about the human, and I make up stories to myself. This is not even probably the real story, but I'll watch like a 52-year-old woman come out of the subway at 4:13 in the morning with 3 bags. And I think about like, is she like the backbone of her family? Did she lose her husband and she has 3 children that she's trying to, provide for? I don't get inspired by like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or Gary Vee. I really don't. I genuinely don't. I get inspired by the hundreds of millions of people, the billions of people on earth that fucking grind through to try to make it better for their family it inspires the living shit out of me. Like, you know, asking about scaling 6 months into a business is premature. Like, it doesn't mean that it's premature to think about building a big business, but like, you're still in fundamentals mode. You're like still just gathering your data. You're still just building the foundation. You know, don't let your ambition, you know, cause you to move too fast. It's for the algorithm and the likes and the followers, and not for their soul. You are not as happy as you could be because subconsciously what you actually just said.
Yeah, for $1 million you don't get it.
If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next episode.